Today, I'm going on a style journey with broadcaster, journalist, radio presenter, mother of two, and passionate animal welfare campaigner, the gorgeous Kirsty Gallacher. Oh. Hello and welcome, Kirsty.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. This is very exciting.
It's great to have you here. I know you are a super busy girl, but I would love to know what project you're most excited about at the moment.
Oh gosh, there's lots going on at the moment. I'm looking at lots of sort of bits and pieces TV-wise. Obviously, I do radio, smooth radio with a brilliant sort of gang there. I love it. And then there's lots of projects, but I'm also doing, as you mentioned, a lot more campaigning for animal welfare. So that sort of sits there nicely, and I'm a mum as well. So there's quite a lot going on. The radio takes up a lot of my time, but I love it because it's funny because I was always in TV and at Sky Sports did that, and that was my bread and butter. And I do a lot of corporate bits and pieces, things on the side. But I'd never done radio like this. I'd done some sort of sports radio, talked about golf and football and various things or whatever, and worked with Chris Evans on rock and roll football on Virgin. But I'd never done this sort of music radio. I love it. Because you can be yourself and you're just like talking to your friends, and it's like really nostalgic music's a bit soul-y because I'm a soul girl, and it's great. I love it. It's radio, but are you very conscious about what you're wearing to go into the radio? No. That's great because sometimes it's nice dressing up if you feel like it, and sometimes I might sort of, meet friends after and get excited and have a nice dinner or drinks. And sometimes it's really nice actually because you can go wearing a jumpsuit, like chilled out, or gym gear.
I was going to say, ever straight from the gym?
Yes, loads. Quite a few. Jenny Faulkner, who does it, she's obviously a brilliant runner and she's running the marathon this year, and I was running it last year. I'd often turn up in my running gear. And then, she runs home sometimes. She's incredible because we sort of, I go on just after her on a Saturday. So, no, it's great. When you're relaxed, you do a better job anyway.
Totally.
But there have been times as well, and Mylene Class does this a lot. We sort of wear, you wear sort of relaxed gear and you feel like you do your best job in that way. And then you've got an event after and you sort of go into you sort of do a Wonder Woman thing, go out the door with a ball dress on. So no, it's great. That's the beauty of radio. It's about what you're saying. It's about your voice. It's about keeping someone company and sort of keeping those listeners company and doing a good job. It's not so visual, is it? Which is quite refreshing in a way.
But I just wondered, in this sort of social media world, how much do you feel you get snapped, or you have to snap yourself on the way or way from?
I control it myself, really. You control it yourself. It's what you want to make of it and what you want to do, really. When I do breakfast for Smooth, which I don't do all the time, we all sort of help each other on there. And when Jenny's off, I'll do breakfast, and I love that. And maybe I won't feel like it at whatever time, 4 a.m. But I will possibly dress up a little more. The weekends you feel a bit more chilled out, sort of Saturdays turning up after the gym. But no, it's fine. It is what it is. You make it what you want it to be. But I must say, when you're really relaxed, you do a better job.
Yeah, I think clothes are so important to us as to how they make us feel.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't really matter
absolutely
where you're going. It's just, if you're feeling your best self, you are going to be your best self.
Yeah, you are, and you're not so conscious and fidgeting, worrying.
But today we're going to go on a style journey, and so as part of that journey, I just wondered why you decided to wear what you're wearing to come here.
Well, obviously I was very aware I'm sat with you who is I've looked up to for years.
In her hoodie.
No, you always look stunning, and I love what you've designed. I love what you've done. I mean, you're a an institution, British fashion institution.
God, that makes me feel very old.
No, not at all. No, not at all. Your name is just like, well, might not know this, but I'm a Joseph girl. I worked at Joseph. I left school, took a gap year, and was a Joseph girl. So I I know a lot about fashion. You might not always think so, the way I wear very casual gear occasionally, but I think that's the sort of beauty of, I do a lot of sport and fitness, so I do wear a lot of gym gear all the time. But no, I was a Joseph girl, so I worked, on Sloane Street, the big one there.
Yeah.
And Joseph used to come in every day, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's Joseph!"
He was such a phenomenal hands-on retailer.
Well, he was
wasn't
amazing, and I'm sure you knew.
Yeah, I knew him well. Yeah.
He smoked a cigar walking through.
Absolutely.
With that Mac, he used to wear that Mac, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" But I loved the simplicity of, and still do, love sort of simple, kind of clean cut clothes and that look. So I was aware of what I was, doing today, and I thought, oh gosh, you can't go in your gym gear, you can't go in a onesie or jumpsuit or whatever. I'm wearing a Philip Lim suit.
Gorgeous.
Now the colour isn't very me in a way, but actually I quite like it because I wear too much black.
It's a good thing you didn't come this morning, because I was wearing exactly that colour.
You're joking. This?
Yes.
You're joking.
Not that suit, but that
really?
colour. Yes.
So I
love it. Gorgeous.
It's oversized.
Gorgeous.
But a bit like we were saying just now, it's comfortable. You can wear it. I nearly wore it with trainers, decided to wear a boot, So, I thought I'd put a Philip Lim on for you.
Well, thank you. Now, you grew up in Surrey.
Yes.
Your father was a professional golfer, very famous professional golfer. Did his golfing style rub off on you at all?
Well, I mean, there was a lot of Lyle Scott banging around the house. Do you know what? My dad and mum, both my parents, have great style. I have to say that. My mum loves you as well, by the way. And, she was very excited about, coming today. My mum is very chic, very, very chic. I've learnt a lot from her. My dad, golf gear, it's quite cool. I mean, it's quite retro now, some of the stuff he's got.
Yeah. And does he still wear sort of quite golfing inspired?
Well, he plays a lot of golf still.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he plays golf. He still does, playing golf days. He still works. So, he wears golf gear.
But when he's off the course,
yes,
he's still in his Lyle Scott.
It can do. Can do. Yeah, there's the odd sort of,
But did that rub off on you in a positive way? Did you aspire to that? Or did you think, that's all well and good for you, Dad, but it's not for me?
Well, do you mean actually, would I wear any of that when I play? Or just in general?
What do you wear when you play?
Well, I mean, it is quite limiting. I wear, you have to wear a trouser and a jumper. You've got to be smart, haven't you?
Yeah.
And then it's keeping warm, really. So, I mean, I guess I have been. My father is very smart. He's together. We're very similar. We're perfectionists. We're quite a bit sort of OCD. But he always looks immaculate. And I guess, if anything, I definitely have grown up in that sort of quite smart, everything,
Put together.
Do
you remember your
yes,
earliest memory of how clothes made you feel?
Yes, in a funny way. My mum still talks about, and sort of, we now talk about this to, my nieces. I've got two nieces and a nephew, and then I've got two boys, obviously. So to the nieces, my mum will say, if she can't get them dressed because they're only little and they're sort of fighting her, going, come on, put your whatever on. She always tells the story that I would not wear trousers.
As a little girl.
And I hated tights. So it was a bit like, you want to wear a dress or a skirt, but you're not going to put tights on. Itchy. Everything was itchy and tight. I used to have like a proper hissy fit, when you're just like, so that's how tights made me feel.
And do they still make you feel like that?
I really don't like things that are really itchy, and things can make,
good
funny.
excuse for a lot of cashmere.
Got to be very soft. Very, very soft. But I think I was always very aware of what I was wearing, and maybe not so much the look, right?
But how it felt.
Yes. Funny, isn't it?
And you've got one sister.
Yes, Laura.
Were you very conscious of each other's style growing up?
She's so different to me.
Did you pinch each other's clothes?
No.
No.
I mean, we're 11 years difference. There's an 11-year age gap. Laura is very floaty, quite kind of. I mean, in fact, as a child, she used to walk around naked most of the time. She was just like, oh, can't be bothered with clothes. I mean, we're talking little.
Yeah.
You know, she used to rip her clothes off, and my mum was, oh my God, I'm despairing of you. So I was not like that. I was always quite sort of probably prudish in a way. But Laura's just like free and easy, and I'm not too bothered about what people say or think. And very different, you know, very different way of dressing or look. I like things cut and clean and quite sort of, and she's the opposite.
And you were a keen sportswoman from being quite young, from a young age. Did your probably very honed sports physique influence? Oh, come on, absolutely.
Not always.
Did it influence your early clothing choices? Were you drawn towards things that were very on the body?
Do you know? Funny enough, I've always thought I looked better because I've got boobs, but I've got a small waist.
I love it. I've got boobs.
Yeah, you have boobs. Sorry about that. And so if you wear too many things that are baggy and don't accentuate, you can look a bit sort of.
Well, it can just look a bit
Which
bigger.
is funny because I'm wearing an oversized suit, but for some reason, it doesn't feel bad. I would not have worn this 20 years ago. I was wearing tight stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking, you know, you need to kind of dress for your figure, but you don't always have to do that, do you?
No, absolutely not.
You know,
and also, I suppose if on television, the camera
that's it.
can be very cruel, and if you're wearing something very oversized, you can actually get really lost in it.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
If if you're moving around and all the rest of it, if you're
Yeah.
just sitting in one place and you can wrap your jacket, then you feel completely.
Yeah, you're right. But actually, going back to what you were saying, you're also, it's when you do lots of exercise, and actually a couple of years ago, I was a bit too muscly, I'd say. And actually, it's not always that flattering in clothes because you can look a bit sort of bulky and a bit big. I'm happier with my physique now because I'm slightly more petite because I'm quite petite.
It's very true. When I was doing a lot of water skiing, you build up that sort of. Is it? What is this? Your shoulders and your
shoulders,
but it's the neck
and your traps.
Your traps.
The traps.
Oh my God, I felt like a rugby player.
I quite like that on women though. It looks great because I'm working with a female personal trainer at the moment, and I was working with a male a few years ago who. I got a bit bulky. He's a great friend of mine, Mel Dean. And this girl that I'm working with now, purely because I'm not in London all the time, so I'm working with her and she's local. She's Venezuelan and she's unbelievable. She's like Amazonian, Venezuelan. She's a bikini model. She doesn't like women with the traps. And I'm like, I want the traps.
No,
give me them back.
I'm
so
not.
mine are coming back now, but
Don't build them up too much.
No, I know. But with clothes, it is difficult. Yeah, for if you do get a little bit sort of bulkier, you've got to be careful. I'm always aware of that.
Yeah. And you had some workout DVDs, didn't you?
Oh my gosh, yeah, years ago.
What are your favourite gym and sportswear workout brands?
I wear a lot of Sweaty Betty.
Yeah.
I mix it up. Lululemon. I actually love the whole sports luxe look.
Yeah.
In fact, I wear a lot.
That was my next question,
Well,
Kirsty.
let's do. Can we collaborate? Because I'm desperate to. I love sort of playing around with, and I don't just put gym gear on because I'm going to the gym. I quite like that look of a sort of like you're wearing a sort of cashmere hoodie with a legging and a really nice trainer. Or I love all that. That's sort of sports. That's great, isn't it, for women and lifestyle and whatever lifestyle you've got.
I think it always looks sort of fairly cool, fairly ageless, and actually just like you're really at home
completely.
And at ease in what you're wearing. I mean, for me, I think there's something very inspiring about the seaming on some of that athletic wear because it really moulds and sculpts the body.
Well, absolutely. I mean, there are some brilliant brands out there, and I love. Do you know PE Nation?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I love P Nation, which is difficult to get, obviously, because it's an Australian brand, I think. And then Varley's great. I mean, there are so many brilliant brands. But I mix and match in general, and I choose and sort of just, wear what I want to wear on that day, whether I'm going to the gym or not.
And have you ever been tempted to be sort of more sporty looking in your sports presenting role?
Well, I think that's probably partly why I wear my hair up all the time. And this is another thing. I mean, I never wear my hair down, ever. I rarely wear it down.
I don't think I've ever seen you with your hair down. And you've got beautiful hair.
Well, it's lovely hair, but it really annoys me when it's down. And I'm not a very pampery girl. I'm quite girly, but I'm not very good at pampering myself. I'm not very good at nails and all of that. I'm a little bit... I don't know if that's also because I'm always busy, and I think it's hard when you're kids and I've got lots of animals, and do you know what I mean? You're just let things go a bit. But I always just shove my hair up because it's so much easier. And I actually quite like wearing it up. It's just nice to just slick it back. But I think that is quite a sporty look as well.
Yes. So maybe that's the
Maybe
sports.
that has evolved slightly from, at Sky Sports I wore it. In fact, I used to go into makeup. It's quite funny, actually. And they'd say, what would you like? Oh, well, I'd have can I have some, greys or, on the eyeshadow. What should we do with your hair? And I said, can we just wear it up? They were like, you wore it up yesterday and the day before. And they had to force me to put it down.
But I think there's something really lovely about having a signature.
Do you think? I'm glad you said this.
And if it works for you, you say you don't like it down.
I really don't like my hair down.
Keep it up.
And I did that for years. I did do that, for years when I was younger, and you do the long hair and the sort of... which I love, and I have got very long hair, and I do love it if someone does my hair for me, but I can't do it myself. I'm really bad, so I just put it up.
And the thing is, if you're training a lot, it becomes very high maintenance.
Yeah, well, it does. Then you can look at the other side of it and chop your hair off, which I did do a few years ago, and I did have a cut, which I loved, but then you can't always tie it up. So it's like
I think that's almost more high maintenance than long hair.
It is. It didn't quite work for me, although my mum keeps saying, come on, chop your hair off.
Oh, no. Do you think you ever used clothes to help support you during your time of getting into reporting and holding your own on that stage?
What, right at the beginning?
Yeah.
I think I was probably, when you start anything, I think you've got to be quite conservative. I think probably. Plus also when I started at Sky as a presenter, it changes. Things evolve, don't they? You're working
really
in different
evolved,
studios. They're modernising studios, so things are different, lighting. So we were wearing kind of suits, in the beginning.
Yeah.
That's how we started, and it's quite conservative and safe and great. And then it became a little bit more edgy and kind of pushing the boundaries. Yeah, I mean, the studios were more modern, and
do you think
and so things did change. Yeah, I think you evolve in that way. In presenting, I think you push the boundaries a bit. I think.
Do you think you were wearing suits to start with really to give you a bigger presence?
I think possibly.
Subconsciously?
Yeah, possibly, although we were wearing what we were kind of asked to wear. But yeah, I think
Was that
subconsciously.
True? So
were you
styled?
We had stylists, and obviously we were young women. I mean, I was only really young, and it was all kind of like, rabbit in the headlights. So I had to be we were guided as to what they wanted, because it's a look, isn't it? And that was a uniform look.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. And I think it was great how, as I said, we evolved and the look evolved for us as time went on and studios modernise, and I think that's the right sort of thing. But it is interesting. I think there is that sort of idea of a suit. People are going to take me more seriously. Power.
Yeah.
I mean, I just love a suit. I mean, I'm not wearing it to be powerful today.
I know, but there is something quite empowering.
Yeah, there is. It's great. It's like you mean business.
Yeah.
But then you can equally dress it down a bit, but you still look really smart. I love it. Love a suit.
In your presenting career, you've obviously walked countless red carpets.
Yeah.
How do you plan your red carpet looks?
I still hate the red carpet. I'm going to be brutally honest.
Because
I get so nervous. I'm so like, it's really weird. I mean, I'm 48 now, and I've been doing this a long time, and still, when I go on the red carpet, I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Do you know what I mean?
But there is
I don't think it gets any
something.
easier.
It is a real affront. Those hundreds of flash bulbs going.
Yeah.
It's quite a energetic,
Yeah.
actually.
It's not really my cup of tea doing the red carpet because I'm not a model. I'm not sort of, I didn't choose to do, I know it's part of the territory. You go, and it's really nice to go to lovely events, and we're very, very lucky, and I'm very grateful. And I'm not saying I don't want to do it now and again. But it never gets any easier.
It's a lot of pressure. Do you use a stylist?
Yeah, yes, I do. I work with a great girl, Emma Lane, who styles. Actually, she styles Laura Whitmore and various wonderful looking, gorgeous girls and friends of mine. But I am always open to working with different people. I think it depends on what you're kind of, where you're at in your life as well. But no, she's wonderful, and she completely gets me.
And what's the process? You say, I'm going to X awards.
Yeah. The brilliant thing, I think it's hard when you start working with a stylist because, as you know, they don't really know you.
Yep.
And it shouldn't just be about what you look, it's your character, it's everything. And it's comfort. It's all of those things. So it's wonderful. I mean, I've known Emma a long time. We're family friends. So wonderful to be working with her because she knows me inside and out, knows my body shape, knows what I'm like mentally, I might not be that confident on the red carpet or whatever. So no, it's a process of, she gets lots of stuff and we just do a big try on. She knows I like simplicity.
And does she take a snap of you in it during the fitting?
Yeah, and then we just look at that and see what we like. But we always have, maybe, if she comes to me and helps me get dressed or whatever, we'll always have that other option or a couple of, just in case.
Yeah.
You're really not feeling the red, you're wanting to wear the black again or the navy. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because it is very much kind of, on the day, you got to feel right, haven't you?
Yeah.
For whatever reason, you might not feel that confident.
Yeah.
Or you might, I don't know, feel like you put a few pounds on or whatever.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
Well,
when do you feel that you really discovered who you were stylistically?
Oh, gosh. I don't know if I ever have. It's a funny thing, really. I'm just about to have another wardrobe overhaul. Because
and how will you go about that?
I'll pretty much chuck everything. I have decided. Well, actually, it's. I was very excited about speaking to you because as well about this because I'm like I said, I'm a perfectionist. I'm a bit OCD, very tidy. Don't like lots of clutter or mess. People with beautiful big dressing rooms and loads of clothes. That is not me.
Yeah.
I think I'm a capsule wardrobe girl, and that is it. But I think that's the way forward for me.
It is. I think I would love to think it was the way forward for most people because
Really?
I just think we've got too many options. We're consuming way too much. Buy less, buy better.
Well, I think that's another point.
Look
what
after
a waste.
it. Make it last and then reinvent it.
But it's very much about you have certain pieces that you spend money on, and then High Street does a great job at just sort of whatever you might want to wear regularly during the week. I mean, I do wear a lot of fitness gear as we've talked about, but I don't. I think probably I'm coming to the point where less is more for me.
Yeah,
on the body and in the wardrobe.
Yeah,
I know that I look better with less going on. I know I like my hair up. I think I'm just streamlining at 48.
Yeah. Yes.
Is that normal?
But absolutely. And the more people I've talked to over the years, it is not something that happens in your 20s or your 30s even. And I mean, even... I feel like I'm still feeling more and more at ease in my own skin. How ridiculous is that?
No, I think that's it's wonderful. You look amazing.
Well,
I think it's a really weird. I mean, I look back at clothes and looks, and I think, oh my gosh, what were you thinking? Seriously, that is so not me. But I've obviously worn it for a reason because I've thought that's great. Or someone said, wear it, or...
Do you look back on one specific outfit and think that was clearly my worst fashion moment?
Yeah. Oh.
Tell me.
Yeah, there are a couple of things here.
Silence.
I don't want to sort of sound like I'm being derogatory, but they didn't suit me. I went through a massive Diane von Furstenberg dress phase. I'm talking every single one. And actually, I did wear them on TV quite a lot, and they actually look quite good. They're great with boobs because they're the V and the wrap.
But I don't see that as you at all.
It's frightening. Because I'm actually I think I look better when I'm modern.
Yeah.
I'm not a classic girl. I have a classic edge to me, but I think I'm better edgy, a bit of edge and a bit more modern. Anyway, I did have a massive Diane von... And I wore my hair down when I wore... So that's like another life.
Oh, really girly.
Really different. My other big faux pas, I would say, had to be, great brand in a way. I mean, worth a fortune. Poochie. Do you remember
what did you have?
Yes, swirly...
the Poochie Prince.
Poochie Prince.
Yeah.
It was just a simple... It wasn't a dress. It was just a top. Round neck, like a sort of very... funny fabric. Anyway, but it was like, I looked like I was in Austin Powers. I mean, it's horrific. When I look back at that, I'm like, oh my gosh, seriously, what were you thinking? It was like green with black and sort of slightly psychedelic. I mean, seriously, that was... I have pictures. I think I went to an event and there's one knocking about and I saw it actually. A friend of mine sent me that and I was like, oh, please never show me that again. Although you've got to laugh, haven't you? Because you're a young woman.
You do.
I was only 24 or 5 or whatever. We're talking 24 years ago. But it is funny. Yeah, I've made some errors. We all have.
We all have.
And we all think at the time, well, let's try this. No, not good.
If someone were to describe your style in 3 words, what would you want those 3 words to be?
Ooh. Simple. Chic.
Yeah.
I want to say clean, but clean's like simple. I don't know. I would never say I'm edgy, but I would always hope that I brought a little something, like a twist, but I don't do that every time. So I guess it would be maybe elegant, actually.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more in, wearing black tie or something like that.
I think that's good.
I would never be daring in any situation.
So simple.
At an event. Yeah, simple, sort of clean, simple, chic, hopefully, and elegant.
Love that.
I don't know. I'm flattering myself here.
That's why I say if someone else were to describe you, because I think it's much easier.
It's a good test.
This was how I would love someone to describe me.
Yeah. It's not always what people would say, is it?
Now, you're the mother of 2 teenage boys.
Yeah.
Has your style evolved as they've grown up?
Yeah, probably.
And do they now, being teenagers, have strong opinions on what you wear?
Yes. They love fashion. My kids love. I thought one would be a bit less because, just you've got 2 children. One might like more, clothes more. And they both love fashion, looks, different. They're very different. So they've got a real... eye, and yes, so they're looking at people and they're looking at me, and very, very much so. I mean, they're very sweet though. They know how to sort of keep me happy, but I think they're more opinionated about things like when I cut my hair.
Interesting. And do they ever have an opinion on you being too sexy?
I'm not sure if I ever do that. I'm not sure if I ever go there, really. No, not really. No, they don't sort of go, oh...
No, because teenage boys can be quite protective of their mothers.
Well, absolutely. Not yet. Or maybe I haven't been daring enough recently. I don't know. But not yet. But they are opinionated. They do, yeah. Yeah, it's funny, actually. You're making me think now. Yeah. They love fashion.
Fundamentally, who do you think you dress for?
It's interesting. Me.
Good.
Me.
Love that.
Well, I think I can be lazy. I mean, that's the problem, because I can go, you can very much get into that sort of, oh, well, I'm not doing a lot today, so I'll put the gym gear back on. So that's not good. And that's why I'm going to have my wardrobe overhaul. I've had it in my brain. It's, sort of spring, summer, get that sorted. But I definitely feel like I dress for me. I don't know if I've ever really dressed for anyone else. Like, I think that's dangerous territory.
Yeah. I totally agree.
I think, if you start doing that, you're not you, are you?
Yeah. No,
you're always keeping someone happy, and also your partner should be, as long as you are presentable, and I think I always do look presentable, they will have to make do with what I'm wearing.
Hardly making do with you, girl. When you want to feel empowered, what would you reach for?
I would probably I'd be smarter, and I'd be wear more bodycon, less slouchy, neater, and a bit more sexy, strong kind of woman. Yeah. Funny enough, more sort of proving my femininity and my, what I've got, and sort of probably. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wouldn't be hiding behind anything.
And I mean, talking about hiding, we all have clothes that we love to cocoon in, and I know that you went through a divorce.
Yeah.
And that's always it often is a very complex time. Was that a time that you used clothes in any way to cocoon you?
I'm not sure if I did. If I'm honest with you, I was working so much that I was always in work clothes.
Yeah.
I was always running about, probably I did, and I'm trying to think back, and I probably blocked a lot of it out because it wasn't a very nice period of my life. You then, in your own time, I would be wearing comfortable clothes more. And I actually probably... Funny enough, when I was younger, I never wore trainers as much as I do now.
Yeah.
I'm talking fashion trainers.
Yeah.
So maybe that came into play a bit, because now, I mean, I've got a bit of a heel on today for you, but usually I've got trainers on, because I always felt like I wasn't tall enough, or I don't know, I needed to wear a heel.
Yep.
And that's a funny confidence thing. But I think probably, you're right, looking back, I think I've definitely got into the swing of more comfort, dressing, certainly footwear. Maybe that was sort of hand in hand at that time. I don't know. It's interesting, possibly.
Would you consider you have a style icon?
There are a couple of people I love what they wear and their look, and I mean, I love Cate Blanchett. Is just another level to me.
She's
love
incredible,
that woman,
isn't she?
I just love her look.
Yeah.
I love her style, her just everything about her.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
But then she's got a very different look to someone like Helena Christensen, who I still love. And I met her I served her in Joseph when I was...
Oh.
I know. And she was with Michael Hutchins, actually. And she was the most beautiful woman. I was just like, she's so kind and stunning. And I'm sure you've worked with her loads. I mean, she can make a bin bag look like a blimmin'...
But she's quite boho.
She's very, very not my style.
Yeah.
But I look at her and go, my goodness, how you put things together. And funny, isn't it?
Well, it's effortless, isn't it?
I mean, I do you follow her? You must follow her on Instagram.
Yeah.
She literally makes my day better if I look at her. If I feel just a bit kind of... I don't mean the look of her. I just love her whole sort of... She's like a ray of sunshine. She loves life. She has this lovely... she loves animals and all that, and her family. I just love that woman. She's very different to Cate Blanchett. Cate Blanchett just is style icon to me. In whatever she wears, red carpet, her films.
It's flawless, isn't
She's
it?
an Armani, muse, isn't she? Flawless, beautiful. Who else do I love? I just love sort of simple chic. I'm trying to think of more people
No,
that
that's
I
good.
really
That's good.
love. But there are people I love that I wouldn't necessarily wear what they're wearing because it wouldn't suit me, like Helena. But I really love that about them. And I kind of think, gosh, you look great. And I wish I could do that.
Now, you must get asked to have your portrait taken quite a lot. Are you very in control of your image? So do you not let people take you out of your comfort zone in terms of your hair, your makeup, who you are as a person?
Well, it depends. I mean, I think it's different. Being a presenter, you're not an actress, you're not a model, so it depends. I mean, but then saying that, you do some work where you are playing a character. So that's an interesting question, because I've done shoots, magazine shoots, front covers, whatever, where I am not me necessarily. I'm not. They want to make me look different, and that is very uncomfortable for me.
Is it?
Yeah, completely. Because I am a bit of a control freak when it comes to...
And then do you say to them, no, I don't want you to do that with my hair or my makeup, or I don't want to wear that?
I think it's called finding a happy balance, where I'm like, oh, hang on, oh. And then I'm like, please, can we just go back that way a little bit? But, I think it's important to work with people. I've been very lucky, and I work with lots of people who... I don't choose on a shoot necessarily every makeup artist. You don't always have that sort of joy, do you?
No.
And also, you've got to trust the team. But it is lovely working with your own people, because they know you.
Yeah.
And they know you. I mean, one of my makeup artists, Amanda Grossman, she actually, she's very good. She knows me, but she also knows how to push it a bit with me. And I trust her. That's really, and so does Emma, my stylist. It's very important to have that.
Have you ever been taken sort of out of your comfort zone and then looked at yourself later in a picture or even in the mirror before you go in front of the camera and going, ooh, actually I quite like that?
Well, actually, it was many moons ago. I'm trying to think when it was. Before kids, I'm pretty sure it would be. It was a GQ front cover. And it was really powerful.
Hello, sorry.
Well,
a GQ front cover, that's not nothing. That
no,
was just a great throwaway line.
No. Well, I mean, I'm lucky enough to have done these things, mainly many moons ago. But I was very uncomfortable with the idea. It was swimwear, because I was not going to do the whole really... it was... I've never wanted to really do that whole sexy, not wear a lot. No.
Yep.
If I do a cover... and it's for one of those sorts of magazines, it's got to be about strength and a strong, empowered woman. So it was a costume, and it was strong, and the hair was down, but it wasn't too long, my hair, actually. It worked. And I remember thinking, oh my goodness, this is terrifying. Looking back and going, that's great.
Yeah.
That's like not me, but I like it.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite important sometimes to play that role, that another character.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
And it's quite fun doing that.
Yeah.
Now and again, and playing around with different. I think it's really nice to put the trust in other people and go, I think you'd look great like this.
Yeah.
Please just trust us. I've done a lot of that. Sometimes it works and I've gone, I like those pictures. Sometimes I've gone, no, and that's just me. That's I'm in my comfort zone, I think. Yeah. I think you probably know what I mean. It's when someone tries to push you and you're like, oh, not sure about that.
But interesting. Do you have quite a big wardrobe?
At the moment, bigger than I want, because I'm going to chuck it all. I've decided.
I know. How
More we're talking about it.
What's the process? Are you just going to pull it all out and then decide what goes back in?
I will. I sort of know what I want to get rid of. Things that don't work now, or that I just want to change it up. So there is a lot of dead wood in there that I know what's coming out. But then there's those question marks. You know, those bits that you've had and maybe had for a long time, and you sort of think, I don't want to chuck you, but I don't really know if you really fit in my life. But you don't really want to... It's very difficult to part with some items of clothes, isn't it?
So will you have someone with you during this
to
process?
guide me gently? Do you know, I want to do it on my own.
Yeah.
I might ask my stylist to gently help me with those little...
The final
cut.
And what will you do with what gets cut?
I give everything to charity.
And always an animal charity?
Different charities. I've given a lot to families and people who I know who work with families who haven't got many things, and it's a bit like children's clothes. I'm always giving away the kids' clothes, and we give those to children who just don't have enough. And I'm always saying to my kids, come on, let's do another clear out, because it's really important. We don't chuck things. I mean, I barely chuck. I don't even chuck anything from the fridge. We use everything. I hate waste. It's really not. There's no excuse for that now, but I'm really mindful about helping people. And I was thinking of doing like a sale or something, but I mean, I generally I will go and bag it up and give it to charity. And I hope that will help they will help somebody in whatever way,
in one way or another.
And also even if things have got holes in, the fabric can be used again and again. And we shouldn't be chucking anything away.
No, we've become far too
disgusting. We live, the way we live can be just awful. The waste and the buying too much. And I mean, I hardly ever really buy any new clothes or new shoes or anything. I wear the same stuff, which is why I might as well just have a capsule wardrobe with some newer items that make me feel better and just a bit fresher. But I really very rarely, because I just think I can't. Why am I justifying this, when there's so much going on in the world?
Totally. Do you ever buy vintage?
I have done. Haven't for a while, but I'm all for, again, giving away bags and things that, I've had that I won't use again, but I don't want it sitting there. And I like the idea of vintage in a way. Not fur, though. No excuse for fur.
Do you get gifted a lot?
Yes, I do. Very lucky.
And how do you draw the line there? Because sometimes I talk to some people and you just know that so much stuff comes through their door on a daily, weekly basis. Do people ask permission to send you?
Generally, they do. Because again, waste is not. That's not all right, is it?
No.
Because then they expect something as well, and you're like, hang on a minute. Sent me that, I'm not going to wear it. It's not very me. I'm going to give it away. Well, do you know what? So be it. If they send me something and it's not me, I'll give it to charity. What can I do? At least I'm not wasting it, and someone will wear it. It's wonderful. But we do get gifted. In this day and age, that it's all about gifting, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is. Let's talk about travel. Do you have a go-to travel look?
Oh gosh, as straightforward and simple, flat, got to be a trainer or a little pump. I can't think of anything worse than travelling in a heel. I don't get it. I have done that. And obviously sometimes if it's a work thing, I'm like, oh, maybe I should put a heel on. But really, travel for me is about comfort. It can be chic. And clean and nice and sort of, but it's all about, even if I'm going to a sort of not going very far, it doesn't have to be transatlantic. It's all about comfort for me.
You're a good packer or a bad packer?
Very good packer. Too good.
Ooh.
Too good that I end up going, I've got nothing to wear when I get there. I am very good at, again, capsule packing I'm really good at that.
I think your wardrobe is about to have the most monumental edit, isn't it?
It doesn't know what's coming. It really doesn't. But it is funny going away. I've only really realised how I pack very little because I've gone away with girlfriends for a weekend or whatever, and they've got triple what I've got, and I'm going, ooh, I made an error?
But it's very freeing, isn't it?
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And if it's a holiday... you see, a holiday for me means a holiday. It doesn't mean it's not a catwalk show. I'm very I'm really not into that kind of, let's get another pair of earrings out. Okay, take a few nice things, different bags, lovely. But a holiday is a holiday. It's for me, it's really important for me to kind of go and switch off, and it's quite cathartic not thinking about all of that kind of stuff. I think that's also coming from the world we've come from, where there's a lot of sort of wearing clothes and being done up.
Being
on all the time.
Yep.
It's nice to be off, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then saying that, I know that a lot of my friends, they haven't lived that life or don't live that life. So they like to, push the boat out. Great.
Be careful who you choose to go on holiday
Well,
with
I think
by
that's
the sounds
key.
of things.
That's the lesson here.
What's your favourite luggage?
I really like anything that you can sort of just. I'm not into very posh luggage at all. It's simple and straightforward. In fact, I love nothing more than a big holdall.
Yeah.
And just shove it in.
Yeah.
A suitcase, great, but I never carry big. I'm sounding like I don't know what I'm sounding like.
No,
I don't take anything anywhere.
Fantastically,
I'm just quite organised.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's all quite low key and simple and straightforward. I'm not really into the sort of posh luggage. No.
Guilty secret. What is the most expensive item of clothing that you've ever bought? Now, I'm not asking the price tag here.
No. Oh gosh, yeah. There's a couple of these.
It could be an accessory.
I love handbags.
Do you?
That's my...
And your favourite brand?
Achilles heel is a handbag. I mean, a handbag for me, it's like some people would say shoes, buy a good pair of... A handbag
Are you
is
about to
important.
justify this?
Yeah, I am. I'm going round and round in circles here. I have splashed out on a couple of very expensive handbags. I have a couple of very expensive Chanel and other handbags. But they have lasted me for years and years and years and years. And that is justifiable to me.
This sounds like a pounds per wear justification.
Possibly.
but that's not to be ashamed of.
I would feel more happy buying an expensive handbag than shoes, which get battered, or clothes that you might go off, or they might fall apart.
Yeah.
You pretty much know a handbag's going to stay with you for a while if you've done your research.
Yeah.
So that is where my money would go. Yeah. Love a handbag.
Hypothetically speaking, if your house was on fire, God forbid, and you could only save one outfit, what would that be? Would it be your Philip Lim suit?
Do you know I have a Bella Freud cream suit that I have changed up so many times in the way of I've worn the trousers with different tops. I've worn it as a suit with different little camisoles like that, probably that one, and various things. It's stunning. It's like the most beautiful kind of wide-legged sort of, beautiful suit. Probably go for that.
Sounds like that's the
one. It was a really beautiful, and again, not cheap, but I've got so much wear out of it. And it's
Sounds
still
like
there.
That's coming with you.
Yeah, that's coming. And cream. I love cream.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Quick fire questions.
Yes,
Little
love
round.
this. Love it.
What fashion advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
Oh, lots. 20-year-old self, keep it simple.
What fashion or beauty trend would you consign to Room 101?
Oh, God. There's loads. Flare. I'm not into flares.
That's all right.
I know the back.
Your last impulse buy?
Last impulse buy... Well, it went well, though. Is that good?
Yeah,
a little
that's
Zara navy jacket, sort of slightly... I'd have to wear it for you to see. It sounds not great. Short, little, almost nautical, but not nautical. Gorgeous. Dress it up, dress it down.
Sounds a pretty good buy.
Navy wool, gold, buttons.
Your views on tattoos?
I don't like them. Don't mind them on men so much, but I would never get one.
Beauty treatment you couldn't give up?
Quite like a hydrofacial.
High end or high street?